So there's no such thing as contentment. There's the human experience, whether you're male or female, is varying degrees of discontent, and that's a good thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's how you deal with that discontent that makes something bad or good. So when you go, man, I got to get my doctorate. It's going to take me 8 years, and you get to that doctorate, and you think, oh man, now I'm going to be content. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be a fulfilled individual. And then you realize that degree requires you to, work with people you didn't like, or you get into a situation that you didn't realize that you believed. That drive, that your discontent is driving you to something, to be something more than you really are. Okay. So to say that, well, I'll be a fulfilled person, that, to me anyways, that implies contentment. And I would say this is that there's no such thing as 100% total contentment. You won't find that idealized state.
I totally agree. There's definitely no such thing as 365, 24/7 contentment. I would say even the Dalai Lama would agree. Where we might disagree, and also where we might just be being semantic, is I think there's fluctuation between being content and being discontent. And there's also, I think, periods of your life where it's very healthy to take the areas you're discontent and use them as fuel, right? To get from poverty to a place where you're more financially stable, to get to a place where men don't respect you and you're struggling and dating to the point of being very unhappy, and use that as fuel. Instead of becoming hateful towards women and other men, you push yourself forward to become better. And I think that's great. And then I also think there's phases where you've done that for a decade and you would benefit from not focusing on discontentment as fuel, but looking for inspiration or looking for more equanimity. So that's my philosophy, which I don't think, it may be different than yours, but it's certainly I'm not of the mindset that if you're not happy 24/7, then something's gone awry in life. I think life has suffering.
But what I'm saying is that if you make contentment your goal state, you're still going to be discontent, because at some point you're going to have, even if you got the degree, you've achieved, so you got to the top of the mountain. Now you're going to say, well, where's the next thing? Where's the next highest mountain? Where's the next thing that I can do? And that discontent right there is what drives us. And I'm talking about things in a global sense right now. That's what drives humankind onto something that's beyond itself.
What's that book, The Two Mountains?
Yes. So that was exactly what I was thinking. So
have you heard of this book?
It's a metaphor. I don't even know what the book is. But he essentially says, and this is where I feel in my life, I've never been religious. I've never been spiritual. And Ben and I have spent the last 13 years very much discontent, solve a problem, get a result. And I think I'm sure you have in your life, we've been lucky with the YouTube channel. I was convinced at 100,000 subs, things will be different. It wasn't even a stated goal. It wasn't even a stated goal, right? It was just a goal, and then I hit it, and nothing changes. Oh, the number must have been 1 million, and what I have seen is exactly what you described, is that the hedonic treadmill keeps on going. Now, I have been looking for a third way other than destructive and constructive, and I'm a novice in it. I just started taking psychedelics, but it seems to me that there may be some sort of third way, which is what spiritual people have talked about for a long time, which is to sit with the contentment, or to have a paradigm that looks down on it from a different level, such that it's not change something in the world, but rather change the way that you relate to it internally. And I one of the mistakes that I think that I've made in the past is advising people who are too young or haven't yet done that world thing, like make a big impact in the world and play that game. But personally, where I feel that I'm at is less interested in being driven by discontent to make changes in my life, because I can't even believe that it's going to make me happy anymore. I can't even convince myself that more business success will make me happy, because I've just seen that it doesn't. And so I don't have the answer, but I feel like I'm trying to find a third one, and maybe I'll come to the answer that there isn't a third path. It's just varying.
And then what happens is, and I get, this is sort of like this is kind of like the Buddhist kind of Hindu kind of thing, where it's like you're just looking for that nirvana state. You're looking for that state of like total just being, right? The total state of being. And I understand why guys want that. But I would say that, again, coming back to what we are as sort of like human animals and our, our base materials, like what is, like, it's like, do we have a soul, or do we have are we all just like, smart monkeys on planet Earth right now? And I would say that the reason why people are innately unhappy, or try, at least, you can be happy for a while. I'm not saying you can't find contentment for, temporarily, but I'm saying it's the discontent is what helped us survive in the past. So we had to be discontent, like, oh my God, the saber-toothed tiger killed off my tribe, but I better sharpen a stick and see what I can do because I'm discontent with that. So that discontentment is I think it's endemic to the human experience.
Yeah. It's kind of like what lens you view things from. Because for instance, so I dated non-monogamously for about a decade, and Jordan Peterson likes enforced monogamy. And so I was like, I must hate what he's going to say. And then I listened to it and he said, it's better for society. And I went, you know what? That's actually totally fair. If everybody did what I did, this would be a disaster. And so similarly, maybe for the human race, it's better to be fueled by discontent because it pushes you forward to have SpaceX and Neuralink. But also on a personal level, if I could suffer from depression while creating the next SpaceX, or I could live a life where I help people by doing something that I care about and be happy, I would choose the latter. And so I'm less, for myself, I'm like, how do I be a good person? How do I make a positive impact? But also, how do I focus on more than just society at the expense of my mental health?
And do you think that is the feminized world order that has infected his thinking at that point because he cares about the emotion of being happy? Or?
Well, I would say this is that the reason why you prioritize the word happy or prioritize the feeling of it, because remember, happiness is an emotion. I can make you feel, but we can go get drunk and I'll make you really happy right now. Well, we can go you're taking, I don't know what let's psychedel.
A little bit of everything. Yeah.
Like yeah. Suddenly I've achieved happiness and contentment. Wow. Yeah. So I can take those emotions and I can make you feel them. What if I could do this? What if I could give you an SSRI and you'd feel happy all the time and you can live in abject poverty, but you're happy about it?
Is that a
good thing?
I'd take it. I would love it.
But you say you would take it.
I'm blue pill, man. I'm Matrix blue pill, dude. That steak tastes good, and I'm in the Matrix, and the real world is like.
You'd rather have just the sensations of it, rather than so it doesn't matter what the actual source of it or what.
You know what? I take that back.
The quality of the happiness.
I'm a truth pursuer. I take it back. I'd go red pill. But that's not me.
The problem with the SSRI to me isn't that it makes you happy and is easy. It's that it has downstream effects. It's that it has long-term side effects. And I'm
not saying that, but let's just say idealistically, you could have a pill that would give you complete happiness. Would you take that? Would you take that pill? Yeah. If it meant like you just and it completely eliminated your drive to seek out solutions for any kind of discontent, because you wouldn't have any discontent.
Well, the presumption
I have to think morally about, because I do. Yeah. I don't know if you even know this, but we have another YouTube channel called Charisma on Command, and it's geared towards helping people, and so. I would have to think about the moral, because I believe in the veil of ignorance, which is to say, if you didn't know who you were in society, how would you want yourself to operate? And I do think that to unplug when you're doing good, that's not how you would want people to operate if you liked the advice from Charisma on Command. But certainly if you told me, listen, the amount of good you were going to do is going to get done. Like, I don't know how, but this pill's just going to operate your business for you in a way where it'll still help people. Your own life is the only thing that'll be affected, but you'll no longer have to chop wood. You'll just take the pill. I would take the happy pill.
I think I've seen the philosophical thing, which is the question is, what is more real, the external material world or the internal experience of it? And kind of in what you're suggesting that, well, but you're not going to go out into the world, is that there's something less.
I had no idea we were going to get into this conversation.
This could all be a simulation. This whole world might be fake. It could be a simulation.
I think as we've talked, no real world. As we have talked, I've heard. It's funny, if we start from the same presuppositions about nature, you and I come to all the same conclusions. And I think weirdly enough, and we don't have to get to it because this has been an enjoyable conversation nonetheless, it's almost like we have the same, we would make the same decisions, but the fundamental, like, what is more real, the internal subjective experience or the external? And that's why I tend towards, I don't care if I'm alpha. I don't care if I'm a cuck. I don't care if I'm in abject poverty, suffering, and other people look at me and go, poor guy. If my internal experience is consistently, and not just in a moment of heroin opiate, happy, it seems, and I'm not 100% on this, my hypothesis is that I would be foolish to toss that away in order to achieve according to a societal standard.
We used to say, so like I said, I did the non-monogamy thing, and Charlie said, if there was a hypnotist that could make you would be monogamous and happy, would you do it? And I was like, no. Because at the time, I actually was so strongly in my identity to be counterculture in that part of my life. I was like, no, because there's no hypnotist strong enough and I wouldn't be happy. And he's like, no, you would. It would just fix it. You'd be happy. You'd have one girl. And I was like, no. I had like a cognitive dissonance and I couldn't accept it. And that was probably 5 years ago. And over the course of, I guess, going from 28 to 33, and I've had a change of heart such that I would take that hypnotism now.
There's a chronological thing that's going on with actually both of you right now, because like right now you're saying, well, I'd be happy if I was this, or I can be a cuck, I can be that, whatever. At the age that you're at right now, the problem is that the way that you're thinking, like ideologically or whatever, the way that you think now affects how you're going to be in the future. So if you're saying, well, I'm okay with that, well, there's going to be again, it's like cause and effect. It's like, well, the consequences of the way you think right now are going to affect what your future outcome is. I mentioned this in book 4 as well, as we're at a time right now where ideology is going to set the course of like evolution. We're already seeing this right now. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the CRISPR experiments that are in China right now, where they're doing like gene editing, and we're getting to the point, if we're not there already, we're getting to the point where we can genetically modify a human being to maybe feel bliss all the time, or to whatever. We can choose eye color, we can choose hair color, we can choose like all these things. Is there a gay gene? Oh, is it a defect, or is it a feature, or is it a bug? If it's a bug, shouldn't we edit the gay gene out? Like, so it's like your ideological perspective of what you think at this point, at 2020, right? I don't know how old you are, but how, at this point in your life, what you believe right now, if you could say, well, I'm going to engineer things so that this is what I believe is right, ideologically believe is right now. And it's going to have, a cascading effect into the future, because I made that decision right then and there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is why. The problem with the SSRI is it doesn't last forever, right? The good thing about the magic pill is that it lasts forever. So there is no future me that's unhappy because of it. The decision would inherently make me happy till the day I died.
So you're always stuck in that one. The other thing I think is this is, and you asked me about this, is like the happiness side of things. I think we focus too much on this sustainability of happiness. I think it's okay to feel bad sometimes. In fact, sometimes it's that feeling bad. It's not to remain in it and to wallow in it, but using that sort of negative kind of energy, like when we get depressed or whatever. You want to talk about some of the greatest art in history created by guys who are clinically depressed.
Sure, I'd rather not create that art, and I'd rather not be clinically depressed. I do agree that you can't be happy all the time, and I think everyone from the Dalai Lama on down would agree. Even the people who pursue Eastern philosophical enlightenment would say, yeah, you're not going to be happy all the time. So I completely agree. But I don't want to be the artist that is suicidally depressed, but makes great art. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to say, I think it was Henry Rollins said something like this. If you had a story, or you had a movie about a guy who had this perfect life, he had a perfect wife, nothing ever bad happened to him. And his kids were great, well-adjusted kids. And he had, a golden retriever in the yard or whatever, that kind of stuff. Would you go see that movie, or would you go see the movie about the guy who's just like, hammered flat by life, and is just like, coming up from adversity and has a really shit life, and he comes and becomes something else, or he's driving, there's something that's sort of like the Joker, right? You want to know why the Joker is such a hot movie? Is because that's where we are, I think, collectively, particularly for young males right now. That's where we're at. That discontent is palpable at this point. So which movie are you going to see? You're going to see the guy with the perfect life, or the guy, or the Joker? Which one are you going to? Which one has the bigger draw?
I would watch the Joker, and I would advocate that all young men pursue decisions that are going to make them the movie that no one wants to watch, and that no one aspire to be the Joker. And I would go watch the Joker when it was fictional and in a movie theater, for sure.
What would you do? And I think that's the thing. What is more interesting for me a train wreck is fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like I get rubberneck when I drive by car accidents, because I'm not interested in the car that's driving perfectly well next to me. So you'd ask Ben, what do you value, truth or happiness? I presume that
I value truth. I would value truth over happiness.
So you'd rather be the Joker in that.
Maybe the Joker's not right, but
it was the.
I think. Well, I think that the Joker, something like the Joker. Why did I use that? Something like the Joker. I think it relates a human experience, whereas the perfect life guy it's not believable. It's not something that people really want to say that that's even possible for them, because even if it was, like I said, would you rather be happy, or would you rather be right?
Sure. Well, which would you choose to live, the Joker or the guy who's happy with the happy wife?
I said, which one would I want to watch?
To live. Exact question you asked me.
Well, the reason why I said that is because which one do people find more entertaining? You know, do they find the guy who has the perfect life more entertaining?
I do not strive to be entertaining for other people. That is not my mission.
Well, I have a real problem. You want to talk about things that I have a problem with in the red pill, and where it's going right now, is I think there is a focus on entertainment more than there is on actual tools and knowledge and, you know, actionable information right now. That's what I tried. I had a show not too long ago, about like 3 or 4 months ago, called Red Meat for the Red Pill. Because right now, I think one of the reasons why I wanted to come on here and talk with you guys is because when I was listening to the 2 episodes you guys did about the red pill, I'm like, okay, these guys need to be set straight, right? You guys need to.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.